You stand at the edge of an abyss, feeling a hollow echo within your chest. Why does the world's noise only make the silence inside you louder? Modern life is crowded with things and people, yet many hearts carry an emptiness. Psychologists call this a kind of existential vacuum, a hollow void of boredom, apathy, and meaninglessness. How can our souls feel so empty in a world filled with so much? Frankl spoke of this aching emptiness when he described how many drift without purpose. He insisted that human life has meaning, and that this spiritual dimension makes us uniquely human. In the depths of that emptiness, you might ask, why am I even suffering? So many wander with hearts unanchored. Frankl observed this modern malaise as existential frustration, leading to pervasive emptiness. Noise, busyness, distraction, all fail to fill the soul's void. We may try to numb the ache, but the void only grows louder in the silence. In the quiet corners of your mind, a small voice asks, what is missing? Could this emptiness itself be an invitation to look deeper? Is it a prompt to ask what truly matters? He once said, in some way, suffering ceases to be suffering at the moment it finds a meaning. Could that be the secret hidden in this void? In that void, time stretches. Each moment seems infinite as you search for an answer. Your heart wonders if you will ever feel whole again. Maybe in that endless waiting, something changes. In the silence, you may begin to feel the faint stirrings of something new. In that still emptiness, perhaps a name, a dream, a memory waits to be heard. And in that quiet, perhaps one small whisper of hope. Your inner voice fights the darkness, crying out, why me? As if it is unfair. You may lash out in anger, drown it in distractions, or carry it like a secret wound. Frankl noted that such resistance often grows from frustration, the choking sensation when our will to meaning is blocked. In that furious turmoil, every pain feels like a betrayal of who you thought you were. Your resistance is fierce, but each cry may be a clue. Even the loudest why can be the first step toward a deeper what if. But even here, a small question begins to form. Could this suffering itself carry a purpose? Could pain become the tutor instead of the enemy? Your anger and denial are ways of grappling with something too vast to face. Even in fury and exhaustion, a faint possibility emerges. Maybe you can use this pain. And when anger fades, sadness may pour in. That deep sorrow feels heavy, but it is another door to understanding. In moments of weakness, remember, even night turns to dawn. Each tear, each scream grants you strength for the journey ahead. The voice of Frankl calls out, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Even now, in anger and pain, you hold that freedom. Your resistance is fierce, but each cry may be a clue. Even the loudest why can be the first step toward a deeper what if. And maybe that tiny why becomes the first word of your own transformation. And so your resistance becomes a teacher too. It shows you where to dig deeper. In a quiet moment, a calmer voice emerges. Between stimulus and response, there is a choice. You realize that even in chains of misery, you still hold freedom. The freedom to choose your stance. Frankl taught that where we have no power over events, we always have power over our attitude toward those events. Perhaps this is the first flicker of a different light. Suffering is part of a story you can shape, not just a calamity that happens to you. Your eyes begin to open, and clarity emerges at last. With this clarity, the first faint rays of meaning warm your wounded heart. You start to feel that your struggle is part of something larger, something spiritual. Frankl described this as the spiritual dimension of human life, our unique capacity for meaning beyond pain. Each breath now carries more weight. Even this sorrow could be shaped into something greater. Your eyes open, clarity emerges. Maybe the path ahead will be found by listening to this newfound wisdom. In this awakening, clarity flickers in the strangest images. A remembered smile, the sun after a storm, a petal on the ground. Suddenly, you recognize there can be meaning even in the smallest of moments. You understand now that there are no accidents. Even suffering appears to weave a pattern that you can learn from. The fog of confusion lifts, if only a bit, revealing a sliver of possibility. Now you see that nothing is random. Even the hurt you feel seems to point toward a new direction. It begins with awareness, a decision to truly see. And with that decision, the journey toward meaning begins. And gradually you realize, even this abyss can reflect what truly matters. And with each question, you rewrite the story, page by page. In that stillness, meaning begins to whisper. Frankl observed that life never ceases to have meaning, even in suffering and death. In the camps, he learned that prisoners who could connect with a purpose had the strength to endure. Your pain then asks, what purpose will you give it? You feel a shift, as if a door just cracked open in your spirit. Perhaps you recall someone you love, or a goal unfinished. In this moment, you practice self-transcendence, choosing to reach beyond your own pain towards something bigger. Every choice you make now becomes a brick in a new purpose you are building. Even the smallest actions gain significance. A kind word, a breath of gratitude, a step out of bed. Each carries meaning. You are not who you were when the pain began. Even in suffering, you are growing and changing. Your soul remembers. In each moment, you still have the freedom to choose your response. And with that freedom comes responsibility. The duty to find meaning in each moment. Now the question is not just, why suffer? But what can this pain teach me? You find the questions that once terrified you, now guide you. Perhaps your suffering is meant to teach something profound about love, or bravery, or faith. In those moments, you realize that creating meaning is like bending the light within you. Even the smallest flicker can illuminate the darkest room. Each breath now becomes part of a narrative you are writing, and suddenly you see. This very pain might become your guide to a purpose you never knew. Remember those who have walked this path before you. Frankl's life itself became meaning. From the abyss, he gave birth to hope. You step forward, carrying your pain not as a burden, but as a responsibility. A gift, perhaps, to yourself and others. You whisper, maybe this was always the journey you needed. From suffering, you have forged a life lit by meaning. And suddenly, everything shifts. The pain that claimed you now fuels the light inside you. Even here, hope can take root. Frankl called this stance tragic optimism, finding hope and purpose in spite of pain, guilt, and death. He believes suffering can become a seed of strength if met with courage and meaning. From the ruins of despair, you begin to see that meaning endures. even when nothing else does. This does not erase the pain, but it offers something to hold on to. Hope is not the absence of hardship, but the quiet knowledge that you are not defeated. Your inner voice whispers, there is a reason to live, a reason to hope. Tragic though it is, this hope insists that you say yes to life's challenge. Frankl reminds us that we are ultimately self-determining. We can face any fate and still choose to live meaningfully. This hope is fragile, yet real. Even in the darkest hour, you can change yourself if nothing else. You begin to sense a determination forming in your heart. Each morning you rise, you silently affirm, you will not let suffering define you. Hope becomes your quiet rebellion, a testament to your survival. Each step forward is an act of defiance, each breath a promise of purpose. In moments of weakness, remember, even night turns to dawn. Each tear, each scream, grants you strength for the journey ahead. You whisper, maybe this was always the journey I needed. From suffering, a delicate meaning takes root, and with it, the quiet bloom of hope. And every fiber of your being begins to trust that meaning can bloom even in ashes.